This week is the much-awaited return of the highly successful Real Housewives of Durban, and I'm going to give you a quick review of the cast. Who's not coming back, who's returning, and who's new in the zoo for season 2. Starting with the ladies who will not be joining us this season, we have Ayan Dangoane, and it's surprisingly not because of the bitter end of the previous season. It was initially speculated that the reason for her departure from the show is that she felt that it tainted the legacy of her late husband, gospel singer Sfiso Ncwane. But on an interview that she gave to Daily Sun late last year in November, she confirmed that she wanted to dissociate herself from the Housewives brand and title, as it was beginning to overshadow her brand as a businesswoman, and that's the brand that she'd been working years and years to build. We also have Tobile Makumalum, who will not be returning. We know that she is the wife of Springbok rugby legend Ayan Dangoane. Honestly, I'm not sad to see her leave. I didn't find her to be particularly interesting last season, but she did seem to have some mixed reviews in terms of the audiences, with some fans really loving her and a lot others finding her to be a bit of a mean girl. I think it's good for a show to have a polarizing figure because that keeps the audiences engaging with one another and engaging with the show long after an episode has aired. You might also remember that there was a bit of a controversy surrounding Khumuto last year due to a comment that was made by Ayanda with respect to her racial identity. Now, Khumuto didn't show up for the reunion special, which for me was an odd decision because I think it would have been interesting and it would have made for good TV to have her respond in person and in real time to the comments made by Ayanda about her race. Because my girl had a lot to say about it in interviews. Girl, come to studio on site. Then we have our returning cast. We have Sarisha Naidu. I'm so happy to see Sarisha back for another season. I really enjoyed her vibe last season. She is so zen, she's so mature, and she just balanced the group so well. Plus, she coin. So I love to see her cars and her properties in between scenes, you know? So I can't wait to see her dynamic with the new girls on the block. Then we have also returning La Diva, La Star, La Queen, La Tongo. She's such a lady. She did a great job in the first season of carving a name and a personal brand for herself in order to dissociate her image from the Zuma name and that scandal with the former president that put her in the public eye in the first place. Now, the Zuma name is one that she easily could have ridden on for clout and to carry her storyline on the show, and I really respect the fact that even though she leveraged the name to get onto the show, once she had the platform, she really did use it to plug her skincare products like Londy Natural and also to show us her big, fabulous personality. And she's bagged herself a TV show on One Magic in the process. Then we also have returning for season 2, Miss Ann Tony Ludik Mthembu, aka Annie or Mrs. Mthembu now. My opinion, I'm glad to see her back, but really just only for the sake of continuity. In terms of her contribution to the show last season, I really felt as though she was always just starting juvenile, unnecessary drama. Nonetheless, I did enjoy seeing her and the other ladies at her adorable beauty studio. Last year, Annie tied the knot with her man, Khulu Mthembu, and let's see how that will add to her storyline this season. Last of the sophomores, we have Miss Noncoo Williams. Now, she and her mom did leave a bit of a bitter taste in our mouths last season with that messy stunt that they tried to pull on Ayanda at the reunion special. Also, it seemed as though a lot of her storyline, and at least the most compelling parts of it, centered around Ayan Dangoane and her late husband Sfiso, because as you know, Noncoo has a child with Ayanda's late husband. But nevertheless, Miss Williams is spicy, Miss Williams is sassy. So whatever she's bringing this season, as long as she comes with that heat, I am happy to see her back. Then we have got our new girls on the block, starting with Londy London. Now, Londy London is an Instagram model turned singer. Late last year, she was involved in a bit of a messy social media situation where she was accused of allegedly not allowing her husband to see his child that he fathers with fellow Instagram model and slay queen Kim Koliwe. Londy London told Showmax that her motivation for joining the Durban Housewives cast was in order to rebrand her image from sexy singer to wife and mother. Will she manage to do that? Let's see. We will be keeping a keen eye on her. Now, I'm extremely excited for the addition of Tobile Makumalum to the Real Housewives of Durban gang. This lady must have hired a really great talent manager or agent, and she needs to give that person a raise and my number, because ever since she first graced our TV screens on the popular TV show Uthando Nesthembu as the third of 4 wives to KZN businessman and polygamist Musa Mselegu, she has been making big career moves, starting with a gig as a radio presenter on KZN radio station Vuma FM, and then multiple engagements as a motivational speaker. She's no stranger to our TV screens, but it will be great to see her away from her sister wives and in a new, more glitzy, more glamorous environment of the Durban Housewives. Last among the new girls in town is Ayan Jojo Robinson. Now, I will admit this is the first time I have heard of Jojo Robinson, but word on road is she is an artist, mother, and wife to Calvin Robinson, who is the former kickboxing champion of South Africa and businessman who owns Bluff Meat Supply with his father. Jojo is covered in tattoos and says that she wants to change the perception that people have of tattooed people, as well as to step out of her comfort zone and make new friendships. Jojo, you had me at Bluff Meat Supply. That is my favorite butchery in Pinetown, so you've got a friend in me. Jojo's also said to be very outspoken, and judging by this post over here, I can't wait to see the spice and color that she's going to add to the cast this season. Overall, I think the producers of The Real Housewives of Durban have a good thing going for the second season. I'm happy with most of the casting, and it's good to see that a majority of the cast is returning. I think that this high retention rate paints a good picture on the side of production, as well as the behind-the-scenes relationships between the ladies. Moreover, it's really good to be able to carry over familiar faces and personalities as you go from one season into the next, because we do grow to love or to love to hate certain characters as the series goes on. So this retention is good for continuity of storylines, as well as the continuity of the connection between the audience and the cast. Season 1 of Real Housewives of Durban was madly successful, so much so that the show was made available to 50 other African countries and went even beyond the continent, reaching audiences in Canada, the UK, Ireland, Spain, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Singapore, and the Philippines. Despite the fact that the show found a winning formula on its debut, I highly respect production's decision to still be experimental with this new cast in an attempt to capture new audiences. The casting decisions of these 3 new ladies indicates to us that the show's producers wanted to reach a wider audience this time around. Makumalo will definitely cover very well for the departure of Ayan Dangoane. The addition of Jojo introduces racial diversity and representation, but moreover, it brings on a more rough and rugged side. I think we're used to the Durban ladies being very soft, being very glamorous. So now that we have Joanne, who is a little bit more rough around the edges, diamond in the rough, kickboxing champion wife, I cannot wait to see that contrast against the softness that we have become used to from the ladies in Durban. When it comes to Londy London, I can understand the appeal of getting a social media influencer on the show, because in theory, it means that she'll be able to carry her audience over from her social media pages onto the Real Housewives of Durban screens on Fridays. But personally, I'm a little bit tired of how South African media has been captured by social media influencers. I think there's a time and a space for social media numbers and fame and clout, and then there's a time for just raw talent. And sometimes the two don't always go hand in hand. But hey, I will be happy to be proven wrong and to eat my hat. The highly anticipated season 2 of The Real Housewives of Durban starts this Friday, 28th January, exclusively on Showmax. And I will be here every week with no fail to give my personal commentary on all the shenanigans. I am Ayan Dangoane. This is If I Start to Talk, and I will see you on the next video. And for now, you enjoy the first episode of the new season of Real Housewives of Durban.